You work out, you eat right, you follow the rules, but what if one healthy move on your exercise mat could secretly raise your risk of stroke? It sounds impossible, yet for adults over 60, it's a silent reality. The truth is, not every workout is designed for an aging body. Even innocent-looking moves like planks, sit-ups, or certain yoga poses can push your blood pressure to dangerous levels, strain fragile arteries, or disrupt your balance in an instant. As we get older, our circulation changes, reflexes slow, and our hearts respond differently to effort. A quick bend, a deep twist, or simply holding your breath during exertion can trigger dizziness, sudden drops in blood pressure, or worse. I've seen too many people trying to stay healthy end up in the ER. That's why today I'm revealing 9 common exercises that could be putting your brain and body at risk. Stick around. The first one is a harmless stretch you've probably done this week. Let's kick off with one of the most overlooked dangers, a movement so routine you probably did it this morning. Picture yourself bending forward in a rush to tie your shoes or scoop something off the floor. Feels harmless, right? Yet, for adults over 60, that quick forward fold can set off a risky chain reaction. When you hinge at the waist without slowing down or bending your knees, blood shifts toward your head far more abruptly than your aging cardiovascular system can handle. In younger bodies, blood pressure adjusts almost instantly, but later in life, the reflex that stabilizes pressure lags behind, leading to a sudden drop doctors call orthostatic hypotension. The fallout can be dizziness, spinning vision, shaky legs, even fainting. And if you fall or strike your head, the danger skyrockets. Research in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society confirms older adults are far more vulnerable to blood pressure crashes after sudden posture changes. This isn't a minor nuisance, it's a proven stroke and injury risk. So slow it down, plant your feet, soften your knees, lower your torso gradually, and grab a stable surface for support if needed. There's strength in caution. Next, we'll climb from the floor to the neck, and you might be shocked at how everyday movements up there can be even riskier. Have you ever tried to shake out a stiff neck with a fast twist or a few forceful side-to-side turns? In the moment, it feels like instant relief, but for older adults, it can be far riskier than it seems. Running through your neck are 2 delicate highways, the vertebral arteries, which carry oxygen-rich blood to critical areas of your brain responsible for balance, coordination, and vision. When you snap or whip your head too quickly, especially in wide or exaggerated movements, those arteries can be compressed or even suffer tiny tears. This isn't just soreness, it's a direct threat to your brain's blood supply. In one case published in the New England Journal of Medicine, a man in his 60s suffered a stroke minutes after a vigorous neck stretch. No accident, no trauma, just a stretch. I also spoke with a woman who developed weeks of dizziness and blurred vision from doing daily neck rolls. Her symptoms vanished once she switched to slow, gentle motions. The safer approach: move your head deliberately, avoid jerky snaps, use warm compresses or light stretches, and if stiffness persists, consult a physical therapist familiar with age-related vascular risks. Next up, a strength move you've probably done at the gym that could be straining your brain instead. Let's talk about weights. Strength training can be one of the best ways to maintain muscle, balance, and independence as you get older, but only if you respect your limits. One of the biggest hidden risks isn't just how heavy you lift, but how you breathe while lifting. Many people instinctively hold their breath when straining under a load, a reflex known as the Valsalva maneuver, and it can cause your blood pressure to spike dramatically in seconds. Inside your chest and skull, that sudden surge puts intense stress on arteries that may already be more fragile with age. For older adults, especially anyone with high blood pressure or vascular weakness, it's a setup for dizziness, vessel rupture, or even stroke. The American Heart Association has linked these rapid blood pressure jumps during heavy lifting to a higher risk of intracranial bleeding in seniors. I once heard from a retired firefighter who pushed himself with a heavier barbell, held his breath mid-rep, and nearly passed out from the rush to his head. The safer way? Choose weights that challenge you without overwhelming you. Breathe continuously. Exhale on the exertion, inhale on the return, and if in doubt, get guidance from a trainer who understands aging bodies. Next up, those upside down yoga poses you thought were boosting circulation may actually be doing the opposite. Upside down yoga poses like headstands or shoulder stands may look serene on Instagram, but for older adults, they can be deceptively dangerous. These positions invert your body and send a surge of blood straight toward your head. While some people promote them as circulation boosters, the reality is they sharply raise pressure inside the skull, something aging blood vessels aren't built to handle. After 60, arteries and capillaries lose elasticity and high blood pressure becomes more common. Add an inversion to the mix and you risk overwhelming your brain's delicate circulation. Neurologists have documented seniors who develop pounding headaches, vision changes, and even small strokes after unsupervised inverted poses. I knew a yoga enthusiast who proudly did shoulder stands every morning until her eyes felt pressured and her temples throbbed. Her doctor traced it to intracranial pressure from the pose. Once she swapped to gentle stretches, her symptoms vanished. A safer alternative? Try the classic legs up the wall pose. It's calming, encourages venous return, and doesn't spike head pressure. And always talk to your instructor about your health history so they can modify moves to support your body instead of stressing it. Next up, let's step out of the studio and into timing, because when you exercise can be just as critical as what you do. Evening workouts can feel like the perfect escape. The gym is quiet, the temperature's cooler, and it's a satisfying way to release the day's tension. But for adults over 60, pushing hard late at night with fast runs, boot camps, or HIIT can actually work against you. The reason lies in your body's wiring. Vigorous exercise activates the sympathetic nervous system, essentially flipping your on switch, which keeps your heart rate up, blood pressure elevated, and stress hormones circulating long after you're done. During daylight, this is normal, but at night it interferes with the very process of winding down. Research in hypertension research shows late evening intense exercise can push nighttime blood pressure significantly higher, even in otherwise healthy adults, a known stroke risk factor while you sleep. I spoke with a retired teacher who ran nightly after dinner. Over time, she noticed restless sleep, racing heartbeats, and one morning woke up dizzy. Her cardiologist moved her workouts to the morning, and her symptoms disappeared. If you enjoy evening movement, try slow walks, light stretching, or gentle yoga instead. Save vigorous cardio for daylight hours when your body is primed to handle the stress. Next, let's zoom in on something small but powerful, your core. And it's not about chasing a six-pack. Crunches and sit-ups, the time-honored go-to for a stronger midsection, may look simple, but for older adults, they can quietly undermine circulation and stability. When you snap through abdominal movements too quickly, especially while holding your breath, you generate a sudden surge of internal pressure in your chest and abdomen. That spike acts like squeezing a hose. Normal blood flow to the brain is briefly restricted, which can translate into dizziness, disorientation, or even fainting. Research published in the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation shows that rapid-fire ab exercises in older adults can reduce cerebral blood flow, particularly when done without pauses. I once met a man in a wellness class who felt lightheaded every time he finished a set of sit-ups. His doctor traced it to the pressure from fast crunches impeding blood flow to his head. Once he switched to slower, low-impact core moves, the dizzy spells stopped. The safer path? Choose controlled exercises like pelvic tilts, gentle seated marches, or modified planks. Focus on steady breathing, exhale on exertion, inhale on release, and give your body time to adjust between sets. Now that we've stabilized the core, let's walk over to the treadmill, but with a caution before you reach for that speed button. A treadmill feels like the perfect all-weather fitness solution, predictable surface, no traffic, and easy access. But for older adults, one common habit can transform this safe-looking machine into a real hazard. Running too fast without holding the handrails. As we age, reaction time slows, balance declines, and small slips become big risks. Moving at high speed hands-free dramatically raises the chance of stumbling or falling, which can lead to fractures, head trauma, or in vulnerable individuals, even cardiovascular strain or stroke. Data cited by the NIH shows seniors experience more treadmill-related accidents than any other age group, and failing to use the rails is a top factor. Even brief moments of instability while jogging can spike heart strain and blood pressure. I once met a man in his 70s who insisted on hands-free jogging every morning until a single slip sent him crashing down, leaving him with a head injury. His doctor later noted that holding the rails occasionally could have prevented the fall. The smarter approach: keep your speed moderate and your hands near the rails for quick support, or try a brisk walk on an incline for the same cardio payoff without the danger. Next up, we're shifting from speed to stillness and why the plank may not be as harmless as you think. Planks have a stellar reputation. They strengthen your entire body, improve posture, and don't need a single piece of equipment. But for older adults, holding a plank too long or holding your breath while doing it can quietly overload the cardiovascular system. When you're bracing your core in that rigid position, the effort ramps up pressure inside your abdomen and chest. Add breath holding, which many people do without realizing, and you're cutting off steady oxygen while forcing your heart to push against higher internal pressure. The Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that breath holding during isometric exercises like planks cause significant spikes in systolic blood pressure, even in healthy older adults. Over time, or even during a single prolonged hold, this can reduce blood flow to the brain and put stress on the heart. I knew a neighbor who loved testing herself with 2-minute planks until she began feeling headaches and chest tightness. Once she shortened her holds and focused on deep, steady breathing, the symptoms disappeared. The smarter approach: keep planks to 20-30 seconds at a time. Inhale and exhale deliberately and pause between sets. Listening to your body is key. Now let's stand back up, because the next move is something you probably do every day without even noticing. Standing up and sitting down seems like second nature, something we do dozens of times every day. But when done too quickly, especially in repetition like during squats, it can catch your body off guard and trigger a sudden drop in blood pressure. This is called postural hypotension, and it's especially common in older adults. When you shift positions, your blood has to adjust to the pull of gravity. Younger bodies handle it instantly, but as we age, the response slows. The brain may temporarily receive less blood, leaving you dizzy, wobbly, or even at risk of falling. Strength in your legs isn't the issue, it's whether your cardiovascular system can keep up. Research in the Journal of the American Medical Association shows that seniors who frequently change positions too quickly are far more likely to feel dizzy and suffer falls that result in head injuries or fractures. I remember a friend who added rapid squats to his morning routine to stay nimble, only to be plagued with dizzy spells throughout the day. Once he slowed down, paused between movements, and allowed his body to adjust, the symptoms vanished. The safer method: rise deliberately, breathe, give your body a moment to catch up, and use a sturdy surface for support if needed. Balance is a tool, not a weakness. Now that we've uncovered these hidden exercise hazards, let's finish with the most essential element of all: hope. Here we are, having explored the hidden risks that can lurk in even the simplest exercises. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness, respecting the changes our bodies undergo, and learning to move with care and confidence. Staying active is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, but after 60, the goal shifts from pushing harder to moving smarter. Every step, stretch, and breath can be a celebration of your strength if done with intention. You don't need to match anyone else or ignore your limits, just listen to your body and honor it. I hope this video gave you a fresh perspective on daily habits, whether for yourself or someone you care about. Even one small change that keeps you safe, steady, and thriving is a huge win. Keep showing up, adjusting, and prioritizing health every day. If this helped, leave a comment and subscribe to Health Lab for more tips on staying strong, safe, and independent after 60. Take care of your incredible body. It deserves it.